Definitely. Well, you guys want to get on the next show?
Yes. Uh, I've said this last episode, but this is the show that I was most excited for probably second most excited for summer 2023. Rurouni Kenshin. This is episode 1 of the remake, guys. It's called Kenshin Himura Batosai. So during this episode, we got introduced to Batosai slash Kenshin, and he kind of goes up against some dastardly fuckers that are trying to take over the local dojo. And it's a pretty quick resolution, but it does introduce us to some of our main characters. The episode actually opens up with the old Kenshin Himura Batosai killing a bunch of people, a horde of motherfuckers in
Yeah,
the old era of Japan.
that was a lot of Shinsengumi members, which is like the Japanese samurai police.
Yes.
That was a lot of them, dude. He just fucking went ham.
Oh yeah, and those are those policemen. They're the real deal too. Like they're not like fodder. So it was really cool that he was doing that. Um, Tyler, had you watched Rurouni Kenshin before?
So, when I wanted to watch it, and when I actually went to watch it,
Mhm.
I could not find a subbed anywhere. Like this was like last year, I think, and I could not
Okay.
find a subbed on anything. All I could do was find a dubbed, and I don't
That
know
was
if y'all
pretty good,
watched the
actually.
dubbed or really.
I
Yeah,
thought
the
that was
dub
pretty
was. I
decent.
mean, I
yeah.
watched it
So-
dubbed. I've never watched it sub because I watched it on Toonami as a kid. You know,
Yeah.
and if I'm gonna
So-
go back and watch something like that, I'm gonna watch it the way I watched it for nostalgia's sake.
Okay, so I didn't have any issues with any of the dub characters except for Kenshin. I did not like his dub voice. And I could not I watched like an episode
Was
and
it-
a half and then I had to turn it off.
Was it his voice or was it how he talked?
It wasn't the way he talked.
Okay. 'Cause he has a weird speech
how old
pattern.
is he? Like is he like older teens?
No, he's like
No, he's like
at least 30.
yeah.
Oh,
he
he's
has
like
to be at least
that's
30.
even worse. He sounds like an 11-year-old, bro.
Damn.
Like I couldn't get over it.
Okay. You know, fuck my childhood. It's cool though.
No, I'm serious. Like for someone being so bad and a stone faced killer like him, and then his dubbed voice just comes out and just I'm like, what the fuck?
See, to me, like that was always a part of like his draw. Like he doesn't seem like a stone cold killer, right?
And at that
he has
It just
another
threw me
half
off
to
a
him.
lot,
I was gonna say at that point too, he is like a pacifist. He's a goofy guy, so I think the voice fit him. And I can't remember if they did it in the sub when he went full like badass mode. If he talked a little different, I can't remember.
Yeah.
In the dub, he did talk a little different when
Okay.
went crazy.
I just know that, like I said, I watched like the first, like all this stuff that I watched in this episode. I have watched it in dubbed, the original dubbed.
Gotcha.
I think I watched like a half of, or if not a full second episode before I just had to stop because I was actually going to force myself to watch it all the way dubbed since I could not find it subbed anywhere. And this got announced. I was like, bet, bro. I'm just gonna watch this. So
I can wait. The only reason I wanted to ask you that, Tyler, and Dan, like, did you guys notice like the differences between the opening of this remake and the original? Because the original, I thought like he was just like wandering into town, and like they made him seem very aloof from the get go, and they didn't really notice. They didn't really like introduce him as Batosai.
I can't remember. It was so fucking long ago, dude. I can't remember it.
I thought the opening scene in the old one was we see old girl who is she how do you say
Kaoru?
that name?
Kaori or Kaoru?
Kaori. I'll just say Kaori. I think we see Kaori running up to the fake Badasai and then our boy Kenshin walks up at that time. I think that's how it went in the old one, right?
Yeah, like it was like him just like strolling into town, pretty much. Yeah. So
is that how it went? I'm pretty sure I remember it like that. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it went. I just rewatched maybe the first 40 episodes like in January of the original. So like I thought it was a really interesting choice how they opened with him as the Batosai. with him just going crazy. But it's just
Yeah, I
something a
don't
little
think
little
I
different.
remember seeing that, honestly. I
Yeah,
think it
me
cuts
either.
straight to Kaori, so
Yeah, I'm liking that it's a little different. They started off the mood a little bit differently. Um, Especially for the new fans, I think that's really, really good. And then we did see Kenshin getting confronted by I think it's Karu. Miss Karu.
Kairu? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Karu. Um, and thinking he is the Batosai that's been killing everybody doing the crossroad killings, but he's not. But he is the Batosai, and he like just falls over from her like pushing him, and she's like, "This goofy ass motherfucker ain't no killer." And she like inspects his blade, and she sees like the backwards blade with the I guess blunt side pointing outwards, and she's like, "You never hurt anybody with this. There's no nicks. There's no smell of iron. You couldn't be him." And then she kind of just goes on, and they find actually the real 6 foot. I love that she said that he's 6'6", and he was just an absolute fucking giant compared to everybody else.
Oh, definitely, man. He was huge.
Oh yeah, um, yeah, he was like swole. I mean, in our world, he'd be like 8 foot tall, but to him, like it was like a strong 6'6". I thought it was a funny little detail right there.
Hey, I mean, when you're probably 4 foot tall, I mean, everything looks like it's 6.5 foot. So I don't know, man.
Oh
Dude,
man,
everybody back then was a lot shorter, man. So maybe.
that's true. That's true. And then after that, we kind of saw the this is our introduction to the Himura brothers, and the big boy, our 6'6" guy, Gohei is like he's shouting, "I am the Batosai," killing the policeman, and then Kaoru like is like, I'm gonna put a stop to this. You like ruining my dojo's name. I got no students anymore, and he's just like stops her blade with his hand, and then he's like gonna go to like stab her, and Hironi's like, I mean, Kenshin's like, nah, bro, like let me just get in the way right quick. So it was pretty much the same episode from there on out, from the original, but I still loved it. I still enjoyed it. It's been a few months since I've seen it, and I'm just happy it's back.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, it was really enjoyable. I mean, I feel like the pacing was a little better than the original too. I can't remember. So
I don't think they got through the Himura brothers in one episode the last time.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that was like a 2 or 3 episode kind of thing. So I like how they're cranking the speed up a little bit. That's always good to see, especially with how fast stuff goes nowadays in anime. But I did think it was really interesting that they were trying to sully her dojo's name, and later they get into it that basically we get a whole backstory about her father, who was her mentor, led the dojo, and he got called in to basically fight in the Senin War, which is the same war that Kenshin fought in,
Mm-hmm.
and passed away. So that's why she's had to take over the dojo, and there's a strange old man that she conveniently finds like in front of their dojo and takes him in and like basically has him work for her kind of thing. And it turns out that that is Gohei's brother, like Bass mentioned. And from the get-go, they've been trying to steal this dojo because it's got some good land to it, and they know that they're going to need to build some condos on it, some skyscrapers. They know what's coming.
Yeah, they said they got the westernization of Tokyo coming, so they like, yeah, we're gonna need this shit. And they said that the land was gonna like value up between like 5 and 6 times what it was worth right now. And I was like, you know what? I don't like how you're doing it, boys, but I definitely feel you. It's free real estate.
Yeah, man.
um, but yeah, it was funny like how Kaoru was like she just let Kihei just stay there. She was like, yeah, the night after like the first killings or whatever, I found him abandoned out front of my dojo. And I was like, it seems to look a little bit of a coincidence. And like he's a grown ass man. Like, what do you mean abandoned? Um, and he's been trying to get you to sell your dojo since you've been there. Like, is this really your friend, dog? And even Kenshin's like, you're a little too trusting. You know that? Because I think maybe it wasn't the first night, but yeah, she let him come back to his to her dojo too. And I was like, bro, dude is obviously somebody, and like you just letting people come through at your house where you sleep. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed a little. She is too trusting.
Yeah, she's I guess you could say maybe an airhead, maybe somewhat, right?
Well, throughout the story, she doesn't seem like an airhead. She is very trusting, but I don't. I wouldn't classify her as like an airhead.
Okay. And she seems a little bit smart, but maybe she's lacking on her common sense. Does that sound
Eh,
better?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I could go for that. I could definitely go for that. And I think it's important to also, the Humura brothers are like selling the dojo's name as the Kamiya Kashin dojo in the sword style. And I think it is very important to note before we get into the next parts of this episode that they believe at that dojo and having and bringing to the world a life giving sword in the spirit of her father. And that sounds dumb because you use swords to slash people up and chop them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Dan said, her father went through the Syrian war and died, and hopefully, I think him and Kenshin are on the opposite side. So God bless him. Um, and then it kind of comes out. Karyu kind of figures out that the dojo in the next town is probably has something to do with this, Batosai being in their city doing the crossroad killings. And Kenshin, kind of surprises. The first time I watched this kind of surprised me and was like, you know what? No wonder I couldn't find these SOBs in this town. They're in the next town. Because he figured the bandits and the killers would be in the same city. They're up the killings. So he goes that night. Uh, he goes to investigate the other dojo and is calling out the Batosai by name. And the guys are like, you know his name, but you don't know that he's not here. Who the fuck are you? I'm assuming he proceeds to beat the dog shit out of them because he left unscathed. But back at the Kamiya Kashin dojo, Gohei and Kihei are actually making Karu sign the papers to give over her land and her dojo for nothing, really. They're going to put her out on the street. Screw you. This is our land now. You can't come take it. All you have is wooden swords, which we'll get into that in a later episode.
So
But
I'm kind of confused though. Like,
sure,
they just do, all they needed was her blood,
right.
but if that's all they needed, like not a signature or anything, then why don't they just like make themselves bleed and put on it? Because how like how
It's
if
the
they're
thumbprint
in
too.
that if they're in that like stone age of type confirmation, then why bother, going official with it? You know what I mean?
It's the actual her thumbprint. So
Oh,
like you would be able to see like if she were like, that's not my thumb, and she went to the law, and they were like, oh yeah, this isn't your thumb. You didn't do that. So they were trying to make
oh,
it look legit as possible. So they just needed her. They just pricked her finger and like, there we go, we got you.
okay.
Um, good pick up on detail. I think that's actually a really good question to ask about this. Because yeah, I've seen this a couple of times. That's the only reason I pick up on it. But yeah, they learned of Kiki's betrayal to like take over the dojo, and Kenshin comes in. And our man's always being badass, and comes to the door and he's like, this isn't going down like this. Y'all are some crooks. I know y'all soft because y'all been scheming, and everybody that schemes is soft. And he starts showing his like absolute god speed of swordsmanship. Um, to the naked eye, people are thinking he's taking out 5 or 6 people at one swing, but really he's just going so fast they can't even keep up with it. And he says he will defend the dojo, even though he thinks their dream of having a life giving sword is foolish and a lie. He says he'd rather believe in that lie than choose to kill and hurt people.
I mean, it is a lie, just like we were saying before, like you can't have a life-giving sword unless maybe you count killing bad guys as a life-giving sword because then you're saving lives while doing it, but you're still taking lives. So,
Yeah, I think it's more the play on swordsmanship to protect instead of kill, if
yeah.
that makes sense, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I think that's learned throughout the story but just the way she's phrasing it and the way they say it at the dojo, it doesn't make any sense. A
No.
sword can't bring life. But yeah, in the end, Kenshin ends up, he's gonna leave, and then Kaoru was saying, how am I gonna, get this dojo back together myself? Can you stay? And then Kenshin's like, you know what, I'll just leave. But he ends up staying. That was pretty much the whole episode. So not a lot, but we got to see our boy Kenshin fight a little bit. Um, Guys, like I think the big difference between this version of the show and the last one is pretty much just the animation and that one scene at the beginning. Like, what did y'all think about it?
I think it seemed a little darker, like the scenery and stuff, because I remember a lot of blue skies in Rurouni Kenshin. Like, I mean, I don't remember the first episode very well, but I think it wasn't this dark. You know,
Well, a lot of this was at nighttime, and
that's
that's what
true.
the first couple episodes are mostly.
Oh,
At
was it?
nighttime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just remember it being a very fun show and not as dark, I guess.
I hope it does like take on that like light-hearted feeling, but our next few characters that we get introduced to should make it that way. But yeah, it did have some more somber tone.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
anything after like the first couple episodes, I'm not gonna have any idea about. So because I've only watched like I said, one or two of the dub. So
Okay. Yeah, I think you're gonna like it, Tyler. It's one of my favorites, um, like from my childhood. Um, and I'm excited to watch it again. Honestly, this will be like my third or fourth time, and I can't wait. I can't
Oh,
wait.
yeah, I
definitely,
used to
man.
work with someone. This was their like top anime, so that's the only reason why I
Fuck
like
yes.
tried to watch, the dub because he was always talking about it, and
Mhm.
I'm just like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And then I was like, bro, I don't know, man. This is this. Well, I'm having this the main character. That's the issue. The voice of the main character. I was like, I don't know. I'm hearing him talk all the time. I don't like it. So
He's just very soft spoken, dude. I mean, even the Japanese voice actor in the remake is pretty soft spoken, I feel like. So,
Yeah, and I feel like he should be for
yeah.
what they're trying to portray. But that's all I had, boys. On to the next.